Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another horror movie night. Tonight, I will be reviewing Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, released in 1988. Friday the 13th Part 7 stars Kane Hodder, Lar Park Lincoln, Kevin Blair, Susan Blue, Terry Kiser, Elizabeth Kaitan, Heidi Kozak, Diana Barrows, and William Butler. Friday the 13th Part 7 was directed by John Carl Buechler. Now this one was written by Manuel Fidelo and Daryl Haney. And this is another one of the Friday the 13th films that kind of suffers from the dumbass MPAA really just fucking over the film when it came to its effects. Of course, Paramount caving under the pressure and then, just letting them just fuck the film up instead of actually just putting the hammer down and saying, fuck you, we're just going to release it unrated, No. They were worried, that'll screw up ticket sales. Well, it works for other films to be released unrated without having to go through the MPAA. So, but other than that hampering of it, this one, yes, it does have issues where the whole, plot point of Lar Park Lincoln's Tina, this psychically gifted girl, although she will say cursed, girl, using her telekinetic abilities to inadvertently revive Jason, who's been at the bottom of the lake since the ending of Friday the 13th Part 6. It's a weak way of reviving Jason in this film, even though when he comes out of that fucking water, his look, first portrayal of Kane Hodder in this series, and they nailed his look. He's got a great look. One of the more visually striking Jason appearances and looks. I love the whole back where you can just see his spine and everything, and the bones and all the damage around his mask and everything, and how he looks when he's unmasked is a brilliant look. He just looks creepy as fuck. As far as his performance, though, yes, he's good in the scenes when he's stalking people and killing them. But, of course, like I said, those are really muted thanks to the MPAA. And, but them having a psychic, telekinetic character face off against Jason, it could have worked really well in this. And it still is okay. What I kind of has always had issues with in this is how great Kane Hodder's Jason looks and how badass he is earlier, like I said, when he's doing the kills. But whenever he faces off with Tina, she just consistently kicks his ass and does things to him that just puts him down consistently throughout the film. And it weakens Kane's performance, I think, to make these comical, goofy moments like this. For instance, this one has always made me laugh my ass off at it, how goofy and idiotic it looks. And that is, he's coming up the stairs after Tina in this sequence. He walks up, and she starts generating the light and making it shake. And then she makes it swing back and smash him in the fucking head. a goofy, and it just makes Jason look like a joke in that sequence. But yeah, he should have been portrayed a little bit more stronger against her. I think. I think those moments with Tina, although some of them are interesting setups for what she does to him, probably the best moment with him against Tina is near the end when she causes a jar of nails to turn over, and all the nails go flying and stick into him. And then he pulls one of them out. He's pissed off. And then she starts spraying him with gasoline, and then he's set on fire. Now, that was a cool little sequence, and it didn't make Jason look weak at all. But some of these other sequences really do make him look really bad. Hell, in one sequence, she has a flower pot go flying and hit him in the head, and it knocks him on his ass. Doesn't make you look very strong, Jason. Hell, with the way that Jason was portrayed in part 6, that kind of thing happening to him, that would have hit him in the head, and he would have just sat there and, really? He would have just shrugged it off, or the plant would have just, the thing would have just broke over his head, and he would just sit there looking at him, like, kind of like a sequence in the recently released Never Hike Alone 2, in which Tommy throws what's left of a broken shotgun at Jason, and it hits him in the head, and it just bounces off, and he has no reaction to it at all. That's the way that plant, when it hit him in the head, that he should have reacted. But no, he goes down to it like a little bitch. But most of the performances in this are pretty good. I really like Terry Kiser as Dr. Cruz in this. He is a sleazy asshole of a character in this, and he plays him perfectly. Susan Blue is pretty good as Tina's mom, Mrs. Shepard. She's very likable and very sweet in her portrayal. Kevin Blair is pretty cool as Nick. I just don't like the way they implemented him into the story as well. I like the fact that he survives this film, because that was something that I was expecting whenever I first started watching this film, that, yeah, they're going to kill Nick. This character is going to die. And they didn't. He ends up surviving it with Tina by the end. And that was cool. I like that. Yeah, it's not a badly acted and badly directed film. It's hampered by the MPAA cutting on the kills, and the fact that Paramount never did protect and save any of that footage and release an actual uncut version of this film. If they had stuck to their guns and supported the Friday the 13th series instead of just constantly cowering down to the MPAA, if they had took a page out of Tobe Hooper's book when it came to Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 and released it unrated, audiences that wanted to see these films would have gotten what they wanted in the theaters. But instead, they caved under the pressure of the MPAA and let them dictate what they could have in the film, and ended up cutting all the scenes out and didn't save the footage so that they could actually make money off of an uncut version down the road. I mean, if you're going to release them and cut them down, at least do a cut of them that can be ready for the home video market. Because at this point in '88, they knew that the home video market was available and that they could have had an unrated version on at least home video. But they didn't do that. and it really hampers this film. And like I said, I like Kane Hodder's performance as Jason earlier in the film, his intensity with the kills. And I really like his intensity near the end before. Like I said, in those scenes with the gasoline and everything. But some of those other sequences with him and Tina, it weakens him. It makes him look weak, especially in comparison to C.J. Graham's performance prior to this. He was very strong as Jason. And Kane's Jason just seems a bit weaker in comparison. And it sucks because he has one of the best looks out of all the Jasons. So, anyway, my final review of Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, released in 1988. I will give this film a 7.9 out of 10. This film is not the worst of this series. I mean, in some parts, it is really good. Could have been better had they just doubled down on making this fully unrated to begin with. But Paramount never did like this series. That's apparent from the way they handled it on their stupid-ass Paramount Plus streaming site. So, yeah. What do you guys think, though? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below what you think of this film. And as usual, if you enjoyed this review, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon to be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button to become a Dark Knight fan. Alright. That is the end of another horror movie night. Hope you will join us tomorrow for another Dark Knight Films night. Until then, thanks for watching.